because that, I think, was probably his best performance so far this year. Just talk a little bit about his game.
Yeah, absolutely. We needed a response game, and again, this morning we showed some video of how the game went wrong last night. Obviously when you lose 7-2, but there was increments in that game that actually cost us the hockey game. Our first period was excellent, and our first 5 minutes to be able to tie that game up last night, but it kind of fell apart in about a 4-minute span, and then we lose structure and we don't play the right way, and it ends up 7-2. So we needed a response game today, and I thought we got that from the whole roster. The four lines were going. I thought all three G pairs, once we put Hughes in there and we're able to get Ness back with Louis, and when you talk about Vitek, certainly his best performance of the year, and turning point probably was when that penalty shot, because it's 1-0, and at that point going in, at that point I thought it should have been 3 or 4-0, but offense continues to be a challenge for us. And as a coach, you always worry about that because you're playing so well, and you cannot dominate a game for 60 minutes. That there's going to be increments of the game when the other team's going to make some pushes, and I felt there was pockets of that game when the game should have been over, and Vitek was there for us.
To be able to get some of the confidence back in after such a rough debut to start this year back off, how nice is that?
Well, it's a lot of hockey to be played, and we want competition with both our goalies, and I think we all know what Copley's meant to the franchise when he's been with us. But Vitek, and we've said it many a times, except for maybe that 4-week pocket there in January last year, pretty good rookie season for him. So, unfortunately, he faced a lot of adversity early, and his first start probably wasn't where he had liked it, with only 12 shots that game against Wilkes-Barre. But he's responded with 2 really good games, and on top of that, he's made key saves for us to keep it at a certain score, which has allowed us to maybe get the second goal or the third goal, like in Hartford. So great for him, and he just got to continue to play well, and and that's one of our strengths, we think, is our goaltending, and we're going to need those guys to make big saves.
Ness provides you that goal night offensively, but still him coming back down here, how important is that to get, especially with all these young rookies, for him to kind of mentor them as well?
Well, I think that we've talked a lot about missing that quarterback on the back end, and Bowie started the season with us, and he only played 1 game, and next thing you know, it's 4 rookies, and 3 in the roster are in the lineup on a nightly basis. So it's not easy to win in the American Hockey League with that many rookies on the back end. So Ness gives that stabilizing factor back there. I still think there's another level. He was better tonight than he was last night, but let's not forget, he played the first 6 games in Washington and then played 2 of the next 19. That's a lot of bag skates, and that's a lot of practicing time. So he's just going to continue to get better here as we move forward. And let's also not forget that him and Ness, or Louis and Ness, were arguably been our best pair for the last year and a half. So it was nice to get them back together with the 3 lefties and the 3 righties, and take some pressure off Johansson. Play him against maybe 3rd and 4th lines, and he's been playing some big minutes for us as well as he adapts to the pro game.
Siegs and Willie, they're 2 guys that don't have a lot of experience in this league, but I think they've been playing absolutely fantastic for you. Talk about that pairing and what you've seen from them.
Well, let's not forget that when we had some injuries last year down the stretch, and Ness faced a lot of injuries last year, Siegs and Willie had played some together, but they were our 3rd pair. And you come into this year, and Willie, he made it very difficult to take him out of the lineup in playoffs last year. And they've been really, arguably, probably our best pair since the beginning of the year. Our most, our pair that's been the most stable back there. And they've had their moments as well. I mean, Siegs is a first-year defenseman, and Willie's only a second-year defenseman. So, but I thought they responded excellent from last night. Siegs probably played his worst game of the season last night in Lehigh, and he responded. And both guys, Willie was moving his feet, and when he's moving his feet, he's a very effective defenseman for us, because that's his biggest strength.
You alluded a little bit to it, was offense not being able to get where you wanted to do, but Battle's been playing absolutely fantastic, putting pucks in the back of the net. From those first couple games where he was a couple steps behind, where he is at now, what have you seen from his progression?
Well, I think he's gotten comfortable not only with us as a team and the new surroundings, but with a pace, in the smaller rink. And he's certainly got a knack for scoring. We've continued to work with him individually on video and showing him team video in terms of how he needs to play defensively. Because, as I said to him in this week in his individual meeting, he's losing a little bit of ice time as the game progresses when it's really tight. Because I need more trust in his defensive game. And I thought tonight he was better. He still needs to manage the puck a little bit better when the pucks come along the wall in D-zone coverage. But we know we switched up the lines here from last night, and I thought Sil had a great game and added that physical presence. And for one game anyway, him and Bo and Simpson were pretty good together. So we'll see if we can follow it up tomorrow.
Everybody seemed like they had their foot on the gas to come out of the gate, but then again, you guys weren't getting goals that you kind of, you always talk about getting that third goal, and that was an empty net goal tonight. You have a lot of talent here. How do you translate that to guys here to start getting more goals on the board and being the offensive production side that you guys have had these last couple of years?
Well, I think we've got some talent, but we don't have a lot of natural goal scorers. There's no Galiev or Verana or Paul Carey throughout the roster. Chris Bork, his career high was 32 years ago, and I don't consider him a natural scorer. Simpson's more of a playmaker, so you can go through our lineup, and we've got good players. But to say we've got a natural goal scorer, I personally don't see it. So you've got to manufacture goals different ways, and we generate a lot of offense tonight. And Bo might be our best scorer, our most natural goal scorer right now. So there's ways we're going to have to find a way to get goals, and I'm confident that when our goalies are on and our defense are playing well, that if we get to 3 goals, we're going to win a lot of hockey games. We got to 3 tonight, and we won. So that's kind of the mandate, and that's what we've been preaching to the players. We don't want to change offensively. We want to keep doing what we're doing and getting our chances, but at the same time, I don't see us blowing teams away, from an offensive perspective on a night-to-night basis.
You mentioned offensive lines getting mixed up a bit compared to the night before. Liam O'Brien moved up to the top line on the right side. What components were you looking for going into tonight with the new look on the top line?
Well, we needed to get a little bit more physicality and a little bit more of that forechecking pressure. Boyder's line, we're not great defensively here of recent games, and on top of that, they're generating all their offense off the rush, so they're not getting much zone time. So we felt that if they're not going to be able to get all, they're obviously going to get their chances off the rush, but Liam O'Brien's had a great stretch of hockey since he's returned from Washington, and has been maybe our most consistent player over the last 3-4 weeks. So we felt that get him in on the forecheck and help him dig pucks out with Boyder and Borky would create some more zone time. So I thought that line worked for one night as well, and mentally I was thinking about Siller doing that same type of thing for Bosey and Simpson, and obviously Langlois' line, I broke them up last night, but it wasn't because I didn't want them together. It was trying to get some other lines going. So, and they've been probably our most consistent line, and I don't know if you noticed that 90% of their shifts were against Smith's line, as we were told last night that was by far the best line that Milwaukee had, and that's what we tried to do most of the night here is match those guys, and I thought they made those guys defend a lot tonight, so that was an excellent job on their part. So
You get Mitchie back, then you lose him. What's his general update right now?
He's just going to be day to day. He's going to try and skate tomorrow. Most likely, we'll probably not play him tomorrow now, just because of the cut on the head, and there's some sensitivity there. But everything was positive tonight with the doctors, and he's allowed to skate. I don't know how that helmet's going to feel on his head, but he'll get out there tomorrow. Labrie, I'm not quite sure. He's day to day with a little bit of a hip flexor issue that he fought through the game last night. So, and then when it comes to Hobbsy, he's actually got the okay to start stick handling and playing with the puck, and he'll join our skills next week, and so he's progressing actually probably a little bit ahead of schedule too, so that's great to hear. So I got one more thing for you. I seen your tweet there with the I do appreciate you 99 out of 100 from Troy, man, but I'm going to give you your answer for your why pull a goalie with 3 goals? Two things. One is it gives the guys on the bench, when you're able to get it to 3, or the sense that they still have a chance to win the hockey game. So if you've got a 3-goal deficit at 5 or 6 minutes, we think it's important that if we pull the goalie and maybe get a goal, the bench understands that the coaching staff still believes that we can win the hockey game. And it may not be possible, but at least they believe that there's still time to potentially get a rally. And the second thing is it gives us a chance to work on 6-on-5. Now, we worked on it in practice 2 days ago. It's one of those components that you don't get a lot of chance to work on because you have to do a lot of video on it. So we worked on it 2 days ago, and last night, Murph says to me, hey, I think it's a good chance to work on our 6-on-5, and obviously it didn't work out very well because it ends up 2 more pucks going in the back of our net. But to respond to your tweet, that's why we do it with 3-goal deficits. So thank you.
No, seriously, that's exactly what I want. I never really like. That's one thing. You see 3 down, go, but that's one of those things.
Well, I come off the bench last night going, it happened to me.
Yeah, well, that's happened last night.
I think the first game back, I'd obviously like to have that back. Probably not my best game, but throughout the game, it started to feel a little better. Especially the second half, my gaps maybe are a little better and stuff like that. So I think there's a little bit of a curve when you haven't played in a while. And Louis obviously make that easy tonight. He played a great game, and like you said, I played with him in the past, so I know where he's going to be, and I think vice versa. So it was a good game all around. I thought our team played well.
Even though you play games, when you're sitting and you're not getting in the lineup every single night, is it tough to get your legs back, or is that something that once you get out there, big game under your belt?
Yeah, I mean it's not easy. It's part of the job. It's something you got to take upon yourself to keep your legs, I guess. And if you need extra, you take extra, and I guess that's how you handle it. But the coaching staff up there, I was with Reards a lot. He was running me through drills to try to prepare me and keep me in it. So when the opportunity did come, I was ready to go.
What do you see so far with this team? Because it's kind of a different especially on the blue line, a little bit of a different mix than years past. What have you seen so far in these 2 games?
Yeah, I think obviously the first game, I think we all want that back. I don't think that was our best game. So tonight I think I saw a little more what we need to do, game in, game out. And it's just playing the right way and defending well first and hopefully getting as many opportunities offensively as possible and getting the big saves. Obviously we have 2 of the best goalies in the league, so you have that in your back pocket. It's always nice.
Talk about Vitek's game tonight, because I thought he looked absolutely fantastic.
Oh, yeah. No, I thought he was unbelievable. You look at that game, there's a couple breakdowns we had here and there, and he was able to stand tall at big moments of the game, 1-0, 2-0, and even in the third there, we had a couple 2-on-1s and stuff like that. And you get saves like that, it's going to win you games. So I think he was huge, and it was good to see.
You're getting thrown back in the fire with a 3-3 here. What's the mentality now for you going 3 straight games?
Just prepare like always. I think right now is the biggest. Right after the game, recovery and get back, get the legs as close to 100% as possible. So, right now it's just rest and getting your sleep, and we'll see how we feel tomorrow. Thank you. Appreciate it.
I'm just doing them side. Yeah,
short and sweet. It's short answers, right?
Yeah, no, I don't need anything. No, we're not throwing you on the podium.
No, right here. Yeah, short and sweet.
I thought the turning point for him tonight was that penalty shot. What did you see there? Did you know where he was going right away, or what did you see where he was?
I just see he come in and then shoot underneath.
Who is it? Next one is Mathias.
Throughout tonight, you kind of just seemed you knew where the puck was at all times. When you have a night like this, are you just like where everything's going? Did you get in the groove? Did you feel really good? Did you know that you would have the night?
Yeah. So start was pretty good. So I start feeling better and better, and then I just watching the puck, and everything was hitting.
When you have some guys in front of you like Aaron Ness and Tyler Willington who play really well, what's it like having the confidence like those guys right now?
I think these guys is very, very good, and then team was pretty good today, and then they blocked shots for me, and then it was good then.
Okay, thank you. All right, thanks for your time. Yep.
Going back to your first couple games here, you know, it kind of seemed like you were still adjusting to the speed of this league and where everything is. Where you're at now, what's different for you? Do you feel like you're catching up to the speed of how everything's moving? Do you feel like you have your touch there? What's it been for you?
Yeah, I struggled a lot in the start, and I feel a lot better now and more comfortable. And yeah, it was a big difference from the ice at home, and I'm starting to get used to it. And yeah, it's getting better every day, and yeah.
Talk a little bit about your goal, because it seemed like you got that puck and you snapped it up fast in a very small spot. What did you see from that?
Yeah, I got a good pass from Simmer that was working down low with Silla, and yeah, I just tried to go high with the puck, and it went in.
This team right now, after a night like last night where you have to respond tonight, how important is it for everybody to come on out and play the best game possible?
Yeah, that was important. We had a really bad game last night, and I think everybody in the locker room know that, and yeah, so that was important for us, and now we have to go out tomorrow and do it again.
You seem like you really like playing with the puck, and I asked you about this earlier in the season. What is it for you that you enjoy so much, you know, scoring goals and just shooting and doing everything with the puck? What do you like about that so much?
I don't know. I always have like to have the puck, and I have always with my coaches practice it a lot and not try to throw the puck away. Try to keep it in the team and try to make the small plays and keep the puck, and yeah. So.
What's the difference between the American game and the game that you played over in Europe in terms of playing with the puck? Is there a lot of difference? Or
yeah, I think it's a lot of difference. Here you have to chip it sometimes. There's a lot of people in small areas, and that's because the ice is smaller, of course. So yeah, in Europe it's a big ice, and we could make the plays there, but you have to chip it and put it down a little bit more here.
Troy's played you in a bunch of different lines here, where he's put you up kind of playing second line minutes, and he's had you played third or fourth line minutes. For you, adjusting to how much you're playing each game, what's that been like, and how do you do that?
Yeah, it's I just try to do the best I can every time I get on the ice, and try not to think so much about it. Of course, when I played in the fourth line, I have to chip it, and it's hard when you don't play that much in the game and come in. Then you have to play more simple and get it down and go from there.
Adjusting to that simpler game that you just said about, you know, do you feel like you have to simplify it at times, or are there times where you feel like you have a little bit more control and you can do what you feel comfortable with?
Yeah, when you play a lot, you feel that's normal. You feel better and can make the plays. If you don't play that much, you have to make the simple plays and don't make all the turnovers. You have to do that when you play a lot also, but you have more feelings and that stuff when you're on the ice a lot.
That's all I need. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.